So you want me to share the screen also, Prabhu?
Prabhuji has left, Prabhuji.
Sorry, Mataji.
He has left already, Prabhuji.
He left already.
Srihari
Okay,
Yes.
so no,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So today we are going to see the text 419th verse, the chapter entitled Four Transcendental Knowledge. You're able to see the screen, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can see you.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. यस्य सर्वे ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So it's a beautiful verse. Yasya sarva samarambah कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिता ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणां तं आहु पण्डितं बुधः. यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जितः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणां तं आहु पण्डितं बुधः. So, translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom reactions of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So, anybody would like to recite the verse, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Sure, Mother. Hare Krishna.
Yasya Hare Krishna. Yasya sarve samha arambha काम संकल्प वर्जितः ज्ञान अग्नि ददक काम कर्माणम तमाहुः पंडितम बुद्धः. Translation by His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna. Next verse, text 20. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलां सङ्गम् इत्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मणि अभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति स. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गम् नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मणि अभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति स. Translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive actions, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So, anybody would like to recite the verse?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita 4.20. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll go through the purport. It's very nice purport given by Srila Prabhupada, which gives a much highlight. So, purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. Because the person in Krishna conscious is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities. It is to be understood that he has burnt up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is actually learned who has attained to such perfection of knowledge. Development of this knowledge is eternal servitude to the Lord is compared to the fire. Such a fire, once kindled, can burn up all kinds of reactions. So it's a beautiful given purport given by Srila Prabhupada, which talks about what is this knowledge we are talking. Just 1 minute. So here in this verse, Prabhupada is talking about one who has understood the to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire of sense gratification. He is said to be the sages, to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So Prabhupada in one of the lectures is saying that everyone has to act in full knowledge. Even if you are doing a business, he has to know about the state laws. Accordingly, the perfection of our activities has to be. So, what is the symptom of knowledge? That is our action. If one says something but he acts in a different way, then our words have no value. So, it is a quote is there, your actions speak so loud, I do not hear what you say. That's what is happening is I cannot hear what you are saying. So we may be preaching very loudly, but we are acting in a different way. Supposing a father complains to a saint that my son has started smoking in the college. So the saint asked, do you smoke? So then the saint, the person, he accepted that I do smoke. Then he suggested that your words will have no effect on your son because he will be looking at your action, not at your words. Similarly, there's one more story basically which talks about a mother. She wanted her son from stopping eating jaggery, which was ruining his health and teeth. So she visited a saint. Normally, people visit the sannyasis, and and the sannyasi was being a genuine sannyasi. She asked the saint that, can you please suggest something so that he can stop eating jaggery? So the saint looked at the son and he said, come after 2 weeks. So the mother, naturally, she was very okay. Maybe after 2 weeks, he may do some magic and he will get it cured. So she came and brought the son after 2 weeks. And this sage actually was a very genuine sage. So he said simply that stop eating jaggery. So this lady, she said, well, what happened? For saying this, why you took so much 2 weeks of time? What is the purpose for it? So she said that then the sage said, I myself was addicted to eating jaggery. So if I convey the word to stop eating jaggery, first I must be convinced. I must practice before I put into anyone's this thing. So whenever there is a conflict between a word and action, people will look only at the action not at the words what you speak. There may be people who may be a very good speaker. There are actually professional speakers, but people will base impression only based on our actions. So one may claim to be knowledge, and what is the knowledge? What is the symptom is explained in this verse. That is kama sankalpa varjitaha. The determination to enjoy sarve samarambha, give up all kinds of desires for sense gratifications. He does not make any plans or efforts for sense gratification. Prabhupada, in one of the lecture, and for this verse, his lecture actually, Prabhupada has given uh, lot of lectures. So you can look at the ISKCON Desire Tree. You will find so many lectures. But I just took one of the lectures, and I found that he said, we also want to see, for running the ISKCON movement, we also require money. We also require land. We also require building. We also want man. What is the difference between an ordinary person and a Krishna conscious person? Kama Sankalpa Varjita. Everything, everyone has sacrificed his life for Krishna's personal. That is his personal interest. So, and he also more further, he said, these boys and girls who are working day and night for me, I am not paying any of them. I don't pay any salary. And they also don't expect any payment from us. So that's how actually Kama Salkam, everything should be engaged in for the satisfaction of Krishna. And actually, Prabhupada further said that Yasya Sarva. Yasya Sarva means everything. So he said, we have microphone, we have typewriter, we have dictaphone, whatever. So like an ordinary man, we have everything. We have got office, we have got lawyer, we have got engineer. Everything is there. But everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. So when we go to people, generally when we go to people for preaching, if you see a normal man, or if you want to give him a Bhagavad Gita, first thing he will say, I know Krishna, I know Bhagavad Gita, and I have heard from childhood. So if such a person is saying that I know everything, the first thing is whether that person is following the principles given in the Bhagavad Gita. Is it manifesting in his actions? So whenever a people is saying that I know everything, I know Krishna, I know Bhagavad Gita, I know, that means it is that he does not know. That's what Prabhupada says. So a genuine devotee will never claim we know everything. Whenever when you are making advancement in Krishna consciousness, he realizes how much one does not know. That's why we are all attending. I mean, I actually asked Anandarupa Prabhu once, actually, when I initially came. So I asked Bhagavad Gita. He said, we have already done this Bhagavad Gita 2-3 times. So this is the revision which is going around. So when person is in advancement, he has to be humble. He should not be proud of. That's what actually this humbleness should be developed. This character of humbleness should be there. Similarly, once a Prabhupada came to one disciple came, one person actually, not a disciple, he came to Prabhupada that I can read Bhagavad Gita in 1 hour 58 minutes. So Prabhupada replied to him, it's very good that you are reading Bhagavad Gita and you are able to complete it in 1 hour 48 or 50 minutes, but it's very good. But can you stay for 1 hour 48 minutes with the principles what is given in Bhagavad Gita? Then it has got a meaning. So wanted to convey that bookish knowledge is not sufficient. That knowledge will be tested in your behavior or actions. So kama sankalpa varjita. One must be free from all sense gratificatory activity. In India, it's very common that we have so many saints. Similarly, one devotee, his practical experience he gave before he came to join the movement, he used to attend to a sannyasi who used to give beautiful lectures, and there were a lot of people who were followers of him, and his personality was also very good. He looked very good, and his speeches were also very good. So a lot of elite classes people, they used to follow him, and this person was given the task of transcribing the verse, transcribing his lectures. So he was in very close connection with that sannyasi, and on one day he found that he's having an illicit connection. So immediately he asked that person, you are giving so nice lectures and you are preaching, what is this your act, what is it you're doing? So he said that you don't look at all those things, you just listen to my lectures. So immediately that person quitted that ashram and came to the movement. That's what actually people are actually, they speak, devotees what they say, people pose themselves to be in knowledge, but they have no control on their senses. And the common man, they get attracted to the discourses because they are very so eloquent. He has a good personality, he has many followers. So people get attracted. How many followers are there for that person? So what happens? This kind of projection, a neophyte devotee gets very much attached to and who has no spiritual knowledge. Only a spiritual person can understand the quality. A person who is not trained in spiritual knowledge only sees the external factors, how many are the disciples, how good he looks, how eloquent is our discourses. So Krishna is explaining freedom from sense gratification. If one does not have, one cannot be said to be situated in knowledge. If you are not freedom from sense gratification, you are not to be situated in knowledge. Unless one has conquered his senses or engages his senses in the service of the Lord, he is not out of danger. That's what Bhagavad Gita 2.55 says. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmannevatmanatushta sita pragya taduchyate. Translation is when one gives up all varieties of sense gratification born out of mental speculation, then one is situated in the happiness of the self. One knows no other happiness. Such a person is known as Sthita Pragya, whose consciousness is fixed on the spiritual platform. The next word used is Jnanagni Dagda Karmanam. This knowledge, Gyan, is like a Agni. The spiritual knowledge is like Agni and not the ordinary Gyan, whatever we are learning. The fire of perfect knowledge burns up all the karmic reactions. When one is really situated in the transcendental knowledge, all his past karma, vikarma, deeds, misdeeds, they can all be burnt off. But only one condition is that one must continue, one must continue to act on that knowledge. If one ceases, then the chain of karma will start again. So we've seen practical thing. We have seen we would have come across so many devotees. They come up, they take up the Krishna conscious process very seriously. They even go up to the chanting 16 rounds. But suddenly you will find that they get somewhere attracted to they neglect they neglect some of the rules and regulations or falls down to some prohibited activity. So there, Krishna will no longer protect him. It is just like pouring water in the fire. If you pour water, again the karmic seeds will start again. So this can even be compared to the fan moving. As long as there is electricity supply is there, the fan will be moving. So one will be performing karma and reactions will be accumulating. Action reactions will keep on going. But when you take to the devotional service, it is just like switching off the fan. The fan will not stop immediately because there will be some momentum. Similarly, when we take to devotional service, we should not think that, okay, I have taken devotional service, all the karmas will be burnt to ashes. No, because it is a gradual process. We have stock of karma seeds and so many lifetimes, and it will take some time for burning those ashes. So one has to practice the devotional service consistently. But if we switch on the fan again, the karmic seeds will again start sprouting. So we must ensure that the Jnana Agni is kept alive. We have to give proper fuel and not water to the fire, which will be opposite effect. What is the proper fuel? Is hearing, chanting, glories of the Lord in the association of devotees. That is actually Prabhupada has given us a very nice given this thing, BBC. We must be always with Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and chanting and association of devotees, which is very much important. Till that we can. That's what in Bhagavatam there is a very nice verse. This when Jamila is in this chapter, he says, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanah agam dunmanti karsneya niraharam Iva Bhaskara, it is only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful action and no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog in its ways. So, bhakti should be one pointed and that should be performed for Vasudeva. Past sin will be completely destroyed, just like in winter, there is a fog and one cannot see each other itself. And but the moment the sun started rising, the fog gets dissipated. So, in the same way, if one performs devotional service sincerely, the rays of bhakti, all the sins can be destroyed. The destruction of the sin in our heart, it doesn't have to wait till the full sun has to rise. Even the twilight is sufficient. So, but when the full sun of bhakti rises, the heart, then one gets a full love of God, that is Krishna Prema, which is the highest perfection by the process of bhakti yoga. So one has to continue to practice, situate oneself in the spiritual platform. That's what Bhagavad Gita 14:26 it says, Mamcho vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samitiyate brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So now in 4.20, Krishna is explaining Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatripto nirashraya karmani abhipravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Translation is abandoning all attachment to the results of activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive actions, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So here, Prabhupada, in one of the lectures, he said, we are all working in an office. So what we get, what we are supposed to take is basically we get a salary. We are not interested whether the company is making profit or loss, because the result, who is the enjoyer, is the proprietor or the directors. So our duty is what? To do our work perfectly, very nicely. Prabhupada in the purport has also given very nice. We will just read the purport and then we'll follow this. Purport by Divine Grace, the freedom from bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness. When one is doing everything for Krishna, a Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attractions for the result of the actions. He is not even attached to the personal maintenance, for everything is left for Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from resultant reactions of good and bad, as though he were not doing anything. This is a sign of akarma, action without fruitic reactions. Yesterday we saw karma, vikarma, and karma. And any other action, therefore, devoid of Krishna consciousness is binding upon the worker, and that is the real aspect of vikarma as explained herein before. So here Prabhupada says that Tyaktva karma phala sangam. So one has to give up the results of actions. How? As I told that we are not the profit or the loss, it will go to the Krishna only. Another example you can see, a student studying for exam. He has to put his efforts. That's what Prabhupada says. He has to put his efforts, but he is not attached to the results, whether he gets a gold medal or he gets a low mark. But one has to put effort. That's what Prabhupada is saying, and should not be careless or neglectful in a study. The detachment is only for the fruits and not for a sangam and not for his efforts on it. The next word uses nitya tripto, always satisfied. That is only why who can be only satisfied is normally, if you see that a devotee is normally a satisfied person normally. And so But in this world, Kali Yuga, who is satisfied? Everybody is unsatisfied because this material world does not have the capacity to satisfy us. It will keep on agitating us more and more, in spite of having everything. One is one is unsatisfied. Whereas a Krishna conscious person, by Bhakti Yoga, he satisfies the soul. So one becomes satisfied. And once your satisfaction, you say you are satisfied, what is that satisfaction is what? Satisfaction of the body, of the mind? Can it be satisfied? No, it can never be satisfied. And but in this current world, nobody discuss about the satisfaction of the soul. So real satisfaction is if we what is the real satisfaction? If you are satisfying the soul, that is called as Nitya Tripta. Normally, if you ask a people to come for the programs or take some read Bhagavad Gita, they will say, no, first let me satisfy my body, mind, intelligence. And they will not take to the spiritual because they say, no, I have these things to be, my basic things need to be satisfied. Like I give you an example that we conduct some children classes in our society. We have about 300 flats in the society, but there are so many children, about more than 100 children are there. So, but hardly 8 children they come for the program. And when I ask these other children, why don't you call your friends? They say that no, they are not interested, or they have other classes. They will send for other classes, which is something about half an hour away from the place. They will send, and but for Bhagavad Gita classes, they will not interested. So that is how actually this current situation is like that. So we have varieties of needs like physical needs, food, clothing, roti, kapda, makan. That's what I said. So and we have also more needs like social recognition, prestige, fame. These are all there. So people think that once we satisfy these needs, we will take to spiritualism. Is it possible? I don't think so. They will not take to the spiritual activities. Even if they are satisfied, if the basic needs are eating, sleeping, clothing are satisfied, one will be struggling how to become number one in the company, or if he is having a business, how to become number one in the country or in the Asia or in the world. So he is struggling for that, struggle for existence. That's it. But is the desire going to be ever ending? It is never ending. But see, Prabhupada said there are saintly persons who have fulfilled the spiritual needs. They wholeheartedly engage in the devotional service to the Lord, even though their basic needs are not met. You have nice, so many saints are there. We can give one example like Tukaram. He was not a wealthy man. He was a poor. His wife used to harass him. He had no money. He had no money to, no food even to feed his own children. But he was simply engaged in doing bhajans. Even though his physical needs were not met, even social needs are not met, he was even condemned by the society, but he had practically none but fully dependent. That is what nispraha. Nispraha means basically he was completely satisfied with it. Nispraha, we can give another example is Draupadi Mata. Draupadi, when she was disrobed in the assembly, she was approaching everybody. She was approaching Bhishma Dev, she approached so many people, but none of them could come and help. And once she fully surrendered to the Lord, saying, Govinda, Gopala, please protect me. At that time, Krishna came and protected her, and by supplying unlimited saris. So, spiritual need is the main basic few. If the spiritual needs are satisfied, then our basic needs, our fundamental need, it is not, will may never be satisfied with whatever we have. It is just another example you can give is fish lives in a water and it is happy. But if you take out the fish out of the water, put it in a Rolls Royce car, give him an air condition, give him a latest food, or show him TV shows, provide with good clothes, suit, tie, will the fish be happy? It needs water. It doesn't need anything else. So, so if we do not give water, it will not be happy. Similarly, this devotional service is a fundamental need of the soul. So long as you need to satisfy, you, you need not satisfy other needs. And if you will be satisfied. See, we have heard the story. A person buys a bird and puts it in a golden cage, and he actually daily cleans that golden cage, but he doesn't provide food. He polishes it, he does everything, but the cage remains very beautiful, but the bird will become weak or it will die. So this golden cage is nothing but this material body, and the bird is nothing but the soul. So we are putting so much of efforts in maintaining the body, earning wealth, decorating homes, acquiring comforts and prestige. It is just like polishing the golden cage. But if we neglect the soul by ignoring the spiritual knowledge, then but for establishing our relationship with our Supreme Personality Godhead, if we neglect it, what will happen? It will first, unfortunately, that is what is happening in the current world. We have invited so many people to their programs, but how many people turn to Krishna consciousness? Because they don't want to understand it. So that's why Bhagavatam says, 1.2 points, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir dhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Supreme occupation for all humanity is that by all means one has to attain devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated, uninterrupted, completely satisfy the self. So, the highest dharma for all human is loving devotional service to the Supreme Personality Godhead, and it should be unmotivated, uninterrupted. Devotional service only can satisfy. So, by only bhakti, the soul is satisfied. Today, everybody is searching for satisfaction, but they are not. The soul is actually crying for, Lord, please help me, please come to me. But we are only hearing the voice of the mind. I want money, I want bigger house, I want bigger car, I want clothes. But these are all materially influenced by the mind. But voice of the soul, nobody hears. The voice of the soul is, I want devotional service. So a devotee is happy and satisfied. That's why Prabhupada in the punching statement he said, this freedom from bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness. One is doing everything for Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhujis and Matajis. Anybody who has to add anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Bhagavad Gita has alluded to Pandita, that is perfect knowledge or true knowledge, in two places as
Mm-hmm.
far as my little knowledge goes. So this is one place, Prabhuji, 4.19.
Mm.
And
Wonderful.
also which all of us regularly use, I mean, read this Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini
Yeah.
Shuni
Sushi
Chaiva
Loka.
Swapakecha
Pandita
Pandita
Samadarshana.
Samadarshana. So
Mm.
this is also another definition of a Pandita, a person who will see with equal vision
With everybody.
with
Sarvabhuta.
everybody. Yes, Prabhuji. So, and also you mentioned, no, little knowledge is enough to what do you call, destroy our nescience, like
Mm.
how the sun lights up everything in daytime.
Yeah.
That is quoted in 5.16, Prabhuji,
Okay.
which you just mentioned, no,
Sure, sure.
now.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
And also, Prabhuji, Chanakya has, our Srila Prabhupada has quoted Chanakya in a few of his lectures, where
Mm.
he says, who is a Pandita?
Mm.
Pandita is somebody who will view all women other than his own wife as mother.
Matras Parshastukam. I think
Matrivat
Matravat Paradhareshu
Paradareshu
Paradravyeshu
Paradraveshu Lostravad
Vastu.
regards wealth and possessions of others as mere dirt or lump of clay. Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu treats all
Mm.
living entities with the same empathy as and respect as he treats himself.
Yeah,
So I have heard this in a few of his lectures, so I was just thinking I'll share, Prabhuji.
sure, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. It's there actually in one of the lectures, actually, also Prabhupada has mentioned about this.
Yes,
So in 41920 also, he has also given this verse has been quoted in one of the lectures.
yes, yes, Prabhuji. That's why I think all of us in our Krishna conscious group, we call each other Mataji and Prabhuji,
Yes,
because we view all women other than the wife as mother.
yes, that's true. And
So
everything,
such a
whatever is
person
seen
is
in the
called
material,
Pandita.
yeah, whatever you see, you should not be attracted, get attracted. Whatever you have possess, whatever little you possess, you should be satisfied.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Matravat para dravyeshu. Dravyeshu means basically the matters.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Done.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna,
much.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Done.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu,
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Prabhuji.